It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Because of some crazy internet issue, what the audience is going to hear is take two to the intro to this show. My name is Russ from the Infectious Groove Podcast, and along back with me this week is Michelle, who we covered this in our first take, but we'll cover it again. Michelle is less boogery than she's been lately.
I'm less boogery, and I'm going to try not to booger all over the episode.
Okay.
But no promises. It's a gamble.
You're going to do everything you can to not booger all over the show.
I'm trying, man.
Right on. Loyal listeners of the show will know our guest this week that is joining us because he has been on the show before, and I could be wrong. I'd have to go back through the archives and look, but I think that you might be the first two-time guest ever. If not, you're definitely one of the first. And this week we have Aaron from the I Had to Say It podcast returning to the show. How's things going, Aaron?
Things are going wonderfully. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'd have to go back and double check, but I think I might actually be the first one. I think you're right.
I think so. Now we have Michelle is boogery. Would you describe yourself as boogery?
I am lightly boogery.
You are lightly boogery. Will you do us the favor? If Michelle's going to make the sacrifice, will you do us the favor of trying not to get boogers all over the show as well?
I will also try not to get boogers all over the show as well. But
We appreciate that.
It is fall in the Midwest, so.
Yeah, but I don't want to get sick again, so if you keep your boogers over there.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to have to clean anything up, so I'm going to keep them as contained as possible.
Michelle's going to go on social media tomorrow and be like, I got boogers through Zencaster. Hashtag
now
don't
I'm
stream.
sick.
Yeah, no, I'm sick. Speaking of Michelle, not only is it a delight for the listeners for her to be back on the program this week, but you get a double dose from Michelle because this week's main topic is going to be an album review, and it is one that Michelle herself has come down from on high and bestowed upon all of us. It is the latest album from Maren called Humble Quest, which I believe, Michelle, that to be your lifelong search, correct? To eventually be humble.
You know, it's a real struggle.
Yeah.
I struggle with it every day, but I am on a humble quest. On the humble quest.
Yeah, it's something that you struggle with, but for all of us, like on our behalf.
Oh yeah, I don't do it for me.
Yeah. Fantastic. So if you're a longtime listener to the show, you will know that that is going to be the second half of the program. Before we get there, we're going to share our jammy jams. And before we get there, we're going to get into some feedback you left us. So here we go.
Feedback, John.
Don't worry about that. Russ, there's rock and roll be without feedback.
All right, this is where take one screwed up, so let's hope that doesn't happen again. And we'll go through the feedback. Our friend Nick Macchiato over on Twitter shared some feedback with us regarding returning to live events since the pandemic. He said, the best live event that I've gone to is Muse. The worst is the Red Hot Chili Peppers, to Michelle's amusement, no doubt. He actually wrote in there, the Red Hot Chili Peppers to Michelle's amusement, no doubt. Michelle, and I'm totally serious, what would it take to get you to go to a Chili Pepper show? Like, would I have to pay for like your ticket and pay you and like buy the beer all night and you still wouldn't go?
No. And even if they were playing, let's just say that it was like a private show with Marcus Mumford, I would just go for the Marcus part. I wouldn't even be anywhere in the vicinity for the Red Hot.
Just take off. I know you don't believe this, but I saw the Chili Peppers a couple of times between like 90 and 92, and they were absolutely fantastic.
That's the part I don't believe.
No, the part you don't believe is, that they were fantastic. But I would never have paid to see him again past like 95 or so. Whenever Dave Navarro left. I did pay to see him in the first place. That was back. You have to remember, that's back. They were a wildly different band before Under the Bridge. Like they were, before they just started making the same song over and over, they were very interesting.
It makes my ears bleed.
I know. Nick,
they're my creed.
Okay, that's strong words. Nick goes on to say, I have given up mostly on huge arena and stadium shows. I really enjoy small, intimate venues. It's normally the lesser known bands, and they seem to try harder, and they seem to put on hellacious shows. The one format I absolutely loved for live events is fests. Riot Fest in Chicago is one of the highlights of my year. Fests allow for you to rest on the grass, and if need be, an older concert goer like me appreciates that. Which that's another thing, Michelle. I don't think you're not going to a festival if your life depends on it, are you?
I think the last festival I went to was Mopop with you, and it was fine because there was other things.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know.
I would go. I looked to see how much tickets were for the When We Were Young festival next year. And then when I saw the price, I quickly decided, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did entertain the idea for a second.
That's great. Okay. So the next bits of feedback, which I will tell you, we get tons of comments on all the YouTube videos that we put out every week. And I don't usually share a lot of the comments, but these next ones that I'm going to share are from a special video that we had come out last Thursday that was celebrating the cultural impact of the Michael Jackson's Thriller album, because it's coming up on its 40th anniversary. And we got some really good comments from that. So I want to share some of them. There was one that says, I don't get much free time to watch your videos, which is why I usually listen to the podcast in the car, but I'm really glad I made time for this one. 5 stars. I was a toddler when I discovered Michael Jackson's music, and it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the album Thriller. My backwards town wasn't known for playing, quote, black music, but Thriller broke all those barriers, and I was exposed to his art at such a young age. I remember it just being in my room trying to copy his dancing, which I thought was great. We got another one that says, I think a lot of people forget what music videos were like before Michael Jackson. The audacity that MTV would launch and thrive a format that MJ revolutionized while trying to exclude him is wild. I think people believe that racism has to be violent and mean and premeditated with ill intent, but most often it's just people obviously repeating learned behaviors or ideas. I doubt that MTV execs were like, oh, we hate black people and we're not playing their videos, but more likely we're following a then common industry belief and rules that sponsors would pay more money for white audiences, so that's what they garnered to. Obviously, Michael Jackson and the majority of the entertainment industry have proved that wrong, but it can still happen today, so everyone has to keep fighting Michael Jackson's fight. He wanted everyone to love each other. One more piece of feedback from that video. There was a ton of comments on it, but I just kind of picked some out here. Awesome video. I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson. The album Thriller holds a lot of memories for me. I was 10 years old when the album came out. My mom and dad got me the vinyl, and I played the record to no end. I even had the Beat It song on 45. Being a kid, I had no idea the multiple levels of impact this album would have, so it was super cool getting to learn all the rest of it from your video. I'm really stunned that the song Thriller has never reached number 1, because I remember the song being super popular along with the video. Great job as always. Absolutely loved this video, which I thought was cool. And again, there's a ton of comments on that video, but I just kind of picked some out that I thought would be fun to share. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel and get in there and leave a bunch of comments, because myself and Lauren do our best to reply to every single comment that we can. Next up, we had last week's episode. Our friend Dave from Beer in Front joined us on the program to talk through J. Frank Wilson versus Pearl Jam for the song Last Kiss. And as a side note, I kind of want to do an editor's note here on this. So when I'm writing my notes for these episodes, whether it's with Michelle, Aaron, our friends at The Itch, Lauren, whoever is sitting in the show, we always try to keep this show positive, and we always try and keep things upbeat and always have good things to say. And I, in no way, shape, or form, like the J. Frank Wilson version of the song Last Kiss. So when I was writing my notes for that episode, I had nothing nice to say about that version. And I literally said out loud, like, I'm taking notes, and I said out loud, well, Dave will have something nice to say. So we'll be able to carry that. So when we got to there, I said, Dave, I'm going to let you go first. What do you like about the J. Frank Wilson version? And Dave goes, not a goddamn thing.
Same.
Yeah. So anyways, Jamie Porter writes in regarding that episode. He says, great episode. To me, the Pearl Jam version of this song is a great example of why covers should exist. I've said before that if you can improve the original from either a style or performance angle, then don't bother. This version improves on both. I would recommend the Pearl Jam version to anyone who doesn't like Pearl Jam and to anyone that doesn't like covers. This is why I was so down on the Disturbed version of Land of Confusion. They didn't do anything to move the art along. This is how it's done, which I thought was really, really cool.
I agree.
For sure. A couple of more pieces of feedback coming in. Our friend Seth writes in and says, my parents are old, even older than Russ, if you can believe it. So they grew up. That's why I grew up on the J. Frank Wilson version. It was one of the first pieces of art that introduced me to true love. Also, I was a child. As an adult, I much prefer the Pearl Jam version. Rounding things out, our friend Garrett writes in and says, of that episode about the song Last Kiss, this was a well-discussed episode. I love the back and forth and the honesty about the song and its cover. Always a blast, which I thought was all good feedback. And it was funny. Dave and I did our best to still try and find something positive to say about the original, but the overall consensus from us and everyone else was yes, Michelle, that's exactly what it was.
I got it.
Moving right along. Our jammy jams. It's the single best segment in all of podcasting where we share with you what we're listening to and why. Aaron, I'm going to put you on the spot and have you go first and then move along to Michelle. Do you have any jammy jams you've been listening to?
I actually got a couple. Yeah.
Sweet.
And they're very kind of eclectic. It was like a little bit all over the board, right?
Right on.
So I've been listening like three. I got one that was just an earworm in my head for no apparent reason. Usually I blame you for that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's my job on Twitter.
Yes, it is. Miserable son of a... Yeah. But Midlife Crisis by Faith No More popped into my head a few days ago, and it's just been stuck on a loop.
What a jam.
Yeah, I mean, great song, but at the same time, I'm walking around work like, it's a midlife, and I'm like, shit, I'm middle-aged. That's what this is. I'm having issues.
Yeah.
But
dude, I'll tell you what, man, I've adored that song since the first time I heard it. And soon after I moved to Jacksonville, we of course we go to karaoke every Friday. And I don't know, about 3 weeks into going to karaoke, just right in the middle of the night when everybody's doing like Taylor Swift and every typical karaoke song, our karaoke host busts and does a perfect rendition of Midlife Crisis. And I was losing my mind. And Lauren's like, I've never heard this song. And I was like, neither has anybody else in this bar. Just me and the host.
You and the host. That's it.
Yeah. So man, what a jam that is. What else do you got?
Then I kind of been all over the place. Been listening to a lot of ZZ Top this week. Just I've got to get paid I was just listening to that on the drive to work this morning, and
man, thank you. Cheap sunglasses, all those, man.
Yeah, just some nice, dirty Southern Texas rock.
Hell yeah! I don't mind their '80s output, all the more polished stuff, but damn, man, those late '70s ZZ Top records are where it's at.
Yeah, it's just, and actually their newer one too that just came out a couple of years ago is kind of like back to the original sound too. There's the polish is not there.
Right on.
And I love it.
Nice.
So there's that. And then like I said, I'm all over the place. I've been listening to The Hue, which is, it's like heavy Mongolian music. I don't know how else to put it. Right on. It's
I thought you were abbreviating Huey Lewis in the news.
Nope. The Hue, HU.
He's like, The Hue. I listen to Hue in the news.
Me and Hugh, we're gonna go get a blowout after work, and then get our
maybe this
members
is
only jackets and.
Maybe this is some slang I don't know about. And then when you said Mongolian music, I was like, no.
Yeah, no, it's this band. They're actually touring their original album. They did some re-releases a couple years back with like Jacoby Ray from Papa Roach did a song with them. Lizzie Hale did a song with them.
Oh, right on.
Where they took like the original songs and then they did the English version of the lyrics over them.
Rad.
And it's pretty wicked. So I've been on a kick with that. And then lastly, it would be Peyton Parrish. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's got a few songs out there, just very like, I think he did the theme song for the TV show Vikings and did some other stuff like that. Just very like vocal heavy, like, I don't know what to call it, Viking rock, Norse rock. I don't know.
Right on.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. So what you said, though, definitely all over the map, and that's great. We love that. We get all the time. We actually get on Twitter. There was an episode we had a couple weeks ago where somebody's Jammy Jams was the latest Shinedown record, and then we had someone tweeted us and was like, "My God, I didn't even know there was a Shinedown record. This is why I depend on your show to like know stuff that's out." So we'll maybe turn some folks on to some new things. I'm gonna go through my Jammy Jams next because I have found out about myself that if we have a guest that sometimes I'll just forget to share my Jammy Jams. So I'm going to go through mine next and then turn it over to Michelle to round us out. My stuff all comes from just things that have been going on lately in life. One, we went to see Stevie Nicks a couple weeks ago in concert, and she was everything Stevie Nicks is. She was awesome. But what's funny is the two songs I've had stuck in my head are two songs she didn't even do, which is she had an early 2000s album called Trouble in Shangri-La, and there were two mild hits off of it. One song was called Every Day and the other was called Sorcerer. And I like both songs a great deal. I did get to see her do those because I saw her on that tour. But she didn't play them the other night, but it's very good because it's, the early 2000s is 20 years ago now, but it was an updated sound from Stevie Nicks. It was more of like a contemporary sound for that time than what she usually does. So I like both of those songs. I've had those stuck in my head. There's a Matchbox 20 song from their third record that's the song is called Hand Me Down, which is just one of my favorite ballads that they've ever done. And Matchbox 20 is
one of your favorite 500.
Yeah. Michelle saw our new video. As of the recording, our newest video on YouTube today was 5 hidden gems from Matchbox 20. And Michelle looked at the thumbnail and thought it said 500 gems from Matchbox 20. Yeah, I like Matchbox 20. But
damn, I didn't realize Russ.
Yeah.
Didn't really realize Russ was such a hardcore fan.
Yeah, that dude is all about the 20.
I didn't realize they had 500 songs.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were
Oh,
called.
they don't. It's just different parts of all the songs.
Right.
Like I like it when he says this word.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, hand me down. Matchbox 20 is one of those bands that is in a sea of ballads. They have a lot of slow songs. They have a lot of ballads. And when they're on, they're on. And that song, Hand Me Down, I just love very much. So that'll be on our playlist. The last one, and this will surprise nobody with the time of year it is and everything. Plus, I got to take part in a huge online event for it the other night. I've just had Thriller on the brain with it being around Halloween, and we had that special video come out, and then I did a big huge DJ set on Station Head the other night for around 100 Michael Jackson fans all over the world, which was awesome. And Thriller was the focal point of that. And then that's probably going to stick around for a little while in my Jammy Jams, because it's like, as of the recording of this episode, like another 2 weeks from now will be the 40th anniversary of the release of the album. So I'm sure there's going to be a hullabaloo and a kerfuffle going on about that.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
Well, I'm not guaranteeing that. That's just my prediction. I'm not wishing a hullabaloo on anybody. I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen. So those have been my Jammy Jams, a couple from Stevie Nicks, an older now Matchbox 20 song, and then of course the classic Michael Jackson's Thriller. Michelle, which podcasts and audiobooks have you been enjoying?
I mean, I have been enjoying some podcasts, but I won't say it.
Never ours though.
Huh?
Never ours though.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was silly of me to even make the reference. Go on.
So last week, Taylor Swift came out with a new album.
She sure did. I haven't listened to it yet, but I've heard it's good.
So I've also heard it's good. So I dug into that a little bit this week and last week. And I have been trying. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but what I've heard I've really liked. So I would say that has been... I keep starting from the beginning, and I really like the first 3 or 4 tracks. So hopefully the rest of the album is great.
Well,
but,
you're not known for your attention span with where music is concerned. So
yeah, well, I keep forgetting where I leave off, and then I'm like, well, I'll just start from the beginning, and then
solid.
Yes, and then the other one is we were listening to Maren Morris. I went back to her. I think it's her sophomore record, Girl, came out in 2019, which is the album that I discovered her with, and I went back to listen to a couple jams off of that, in addition to this Humble Quest. So
how did you?
It's been very female heavy this week.
How did you not hear the song "The Middle" 3 billion times when it was a hit from her first record?
I did. That's from her first record?
I think so.
No, I think it's from Girl.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, then so then you did get into her around then, I guess.
Wait, what did you say?
I thought The Middle was on her first record.
It might be, but I was thinking of The Bones.
Oh,
which is how.
No, you actually talked about that song a lot on the show after it came out. Yeah,
that was my jam, and was on that record. And maybe I knew The Middle, but I just didn't know who it was.
Right.
It's not on that record.
This is so far off topic, but they play it at all 3 Detroit casinos constantly, the song The Middle. So that's why I know it. Yeah, I know. Hard to believe. So anyways, those were your Jammy Jams. Yeah.
Those were my Jammy Jams.
A lot of female business going on this week. That was the first half of the show. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be more all about Michelle, which is what she likes. And she's doing well on the amount of boogers. Not a lot of boogers so far. You're listening to the Infectious Groove Podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network. We'll be right back.
This is Beer in Front. Every week I'll talk about a beer that maybe we've forgotten along the way while we get those check-ins and badges. Being the Chicago beer guy, I'll also talk about great craft beer in the city of Chicago. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. That's Beer in Front, part of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Once upon a time.
Boring.
It was the best of times. It was the worst.
You got that right.
What's your problem?
We want new stories.
Hi, it's Frankie.
And Garrett. And we host the Ever Trending Story, a weekly podcast where we bring to life a fictional story created by our own minds and some of the hottest, craziest trends from the internet.
Find us wherever you download podcasts, and be sure to join the fun on social media at EverTrendingPod.
We're back. It's Russ and Michelle along with our guest Aaron. And the two stages of boogery between them. Michelle is trying not to be boogery. Aaron is not so boogery. And we are going to go through.
What is your booger level?
You know me. Michelle, how long have we known each other and how long have I had a stuffed up nose?
Yeah, but you don't live here anymore.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, wait, did you think I was allergic to you?
Michigan.
Probably am. This half of the episode is going to focus.
You didn't answer the question.
Am I boogery? I would put myself
What
at the same
level of boogery?
Very low, very low. We're at a yellow booger alert.
That's less than I would have thought. I thought you were get a constant 5.
Good to know. Is it? Can we move on? By the way, I'm certain people are yelling this at the radio. This is my fault. Like I led us down this path. I'm aware of that.
I just want to say that you're allowed to talk about boogers, but I'm not. I just want to know where the line is.
The subject of this half of the episode is going to be an album review, and one that Michelle the Great has come down from on high to share with us. She picked the album Humble Quest by Maren Morris. This is Maren Morris' third album. It was released March 25th, 2022. And I like it when we do these more recent album reviews. A lot of times it ends up being something that I haven't heard at all. Side note, I thought I hadn't heard this record at all, but as soon as Circles Around This Town started, I was like, oh my God, yes, I've heard that song a lot.
I think it was my jam at some point.
Oh, I'm certain of it. Yeah. Circles Around This Town was the first single from this album that was released prior to the album coming out in January of 2022. One thing of note that I thought was nice is that Maren Morris had a hand in writing every single song on this record. I don't believe there's anything that she wrote on her own, but a quick look at the credits shows that she had a hand in writing every single song, which is great. It's produced by Greg Kirsten, and a little bit of chart history. This album has reached the peaks of number 2 and 3 respectively in the US and the UK on the country album charts. So it fared pretty well in the country side of things for the Billboard Hot 200 side of things. Still, the highest peak that it's been so far is around 60, which is kind of a surprise for as much as you hear about Maren Morris. Like you hear her name out there a lot. I was thinking that it would have been at least a top 10 record, but they're still working the album.
Is this country?
This is, yeah, Maren Morris is considered a country artist. Yes. You know how Kyle and I have been telling you for years that you like country music and you keep saying that you don't? You picked a country album for review this week.
I don't believe I did.
Wait, never mind. There's a whole thing on social media about what is country music and what isn't. Well, we're going to touch on that a little bit later. But having said that, we always ask the person who brought the album to us why they picked it for us. Michelle, I'm assuming part of your reasoning is not because it's a country album, but will you share with us why you picked this album?
I kind of touched about it. Like the Bones was my jam back in 2019. And when she came out with this new album, I heard the single first, and I think it's very catchy. It's a very catchy single. And I listened to the whole album when it first came out, and I couldn't get enough. I was on repeat, and spoiler, I don't think it's prolific, but I think it's just a great, easy listening. It's 35 minutes. It's fucking great.
I'm not kidding you. When I first glanced at the record, anytime you pick an album, I always look at the runtime of the record, and I brought up the record, saw how many tracks it was, scrolled to the bottom, and when it was 37 minutes, I said, that checks out.
Yeah, that does check out. And then she toured with Phil Lombello this summer.
Yeah, she sure did.
And, well, you looked at me like I was crazy. And I don't know if anybody knows this about us, but Russ and I have seen the Lombello a few times live.
We sure have. By the way, the day that we're recording this episode is Brian from the Lombello's birthday. Facebook told me that earlier today.
Oh, happy birthday.
I didn't send him a text because I feel like disingenuous when I do that. Like, hey, social media told me it's your birthday. Like, I didn't remember on my own. You know what I mean?
Well, how would you have known it's his birthday?
Because we're friends.
Did you look at his driver's license?
So, but she toured with the Lombello. So this is, and with your natural love, your natural love of country music, this all came together.
So I was unfortunate enough that she played here without them, and I was not able to go see her when she was here. But she just keeps popping up, and this album is just great in my opinion. So I picked it because I panicked and picked this album.
Right on. I panicked. Having said that, we always try to keep things on the up and up here and keep things as positive as we can. I do have some thoughts both ways on this record, when we'll get into that a little bit later on. But we always start things out as positive as we can, and we ask for your best tracks on the record. Now, Aaron, just from what I know of you, like some of the conversation we've traded on Twitter and whatnot, I would envision, and that this could be presumptuous of me, but I would envision this record to not be exactly up your alley.
Yeah, you would be envisioning correctly.
Right on.
I really did, in the spirit of, I know you guys try and keep it positive and do all the good vibes and everything. And I tried to come into it with that approach because I have actually heard Circles Around This Town before. I have heard the single. This is actually like right up my wife's alley.
Right on.
So yeah, I was familiar with it to a certain extent.
Gotcha.
So I went into it with an open mind. Like, she's not a bad singer. I mean, her music's not. It's technically proficient. She's got a nice voice. It's pleasant.
I know that the listeners can't see this, but Aaron is doing acrobatics to come up with nice things to say.
I'm just saying. I mean,
did you have any tracks, honestly, that when you just listened to it and you said, okay, I know this is going to sound funny to put it this way, but did you have stuff that you were at least like, okay, I don't mind this?
I've done that with records before.
You have.
That was actually, if I'm being completely honest, that was the whole thing. I listened to this album 6 times since you sent me the link.
Right on.
And I was like, I wanted to give it a fair shake. I listened to it in the car. I listened to it at work. I listened to it at home. I listened to it while I was out farting around in the yard. I tried to give it as many different environments as possible to see if something would set it off. And
did you try having a beer?
I actually did not.
Okay, go back and do it that way.
I'm trying to watch my carbs. I did try it with some whiskey. Which
okay.
That's that's
Same,
that's country.
Where you going?
Yeah, that is good.
For sure.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah,
that is country.
But
did you?
Yeah,
was there anything
overall?
Was there any specific tracks that you dug? Like Circles Around This Town is a great single, I think.
It Circles Around This Town. Like I said, it's not a bad track. It doesn't bother me. It was
Why
pretty.
Is your voice
it's a pretty
so high?
good song because this is how I get when I'm trying to be nice and keep my mouth in check.
That was an astute. I know that was an astute observation, Michelle.
It was very, very apt. I also liked the Tall Guys because it made me laugh because there was a lot of good little play on words in it.
Right on.
And it keeps me looking up when I'm down. Yeah, well, of course he does. You're a dwarf and he's tall.
Right.
So just the novelty of it. I was like, okay, that's clever. It's good writing.
Right.
I can appreciate that.
We will be gracious and take Aaron off that hot burner and put him over in on the simmer for a minute. Yeah. No, but and Michelle's brings up a good point. She's done that too. Like albums that I've picked where I think like The Wall, and she was like, yeah, I tolerated a lot of it. You know what I mean? Like you weren't like, oh, this is all terrible. You were just like, yeah, I put up with this.
There were songs that weren't jams, but that I didn't hate. So
right. Yeah.
In my opinion.
The world's most lukewarm review of an album ever. I came away with this with 4 tracks that I thought were the best ones on the record. I try not to be the guy that's like the single, but this is going to be like the 10th time that I've mentioned it so far. Circles Around This Town is a great song. It's a great album opener. And it's if you had passed me this record as an A&R guy and said, hey, what's going to be the single? That first song with a bullet that I would have picked would have been that as the single.
What's an A&R guy?
Artist and repertoire. It's the guy. It's the guy who basically handles the band's marketing decisions for a record label.
Okay, I knew that. I was just testing you.
Yeah, when I complain about like that never should have been a single or this song should have been a single, the guy I'm complaining about is the A&R guy.
Okay.
The other songs that I picked that were my best tracks on it it's no surprise, but the heartbreaker that ends the record. What would this world be without you? That's a great song. I Can't Love You Anymore and the title cut, Humble Quest, were the ones that I thought were great. Michelle, besides all of them, what are your favorite tracks on the record?
I am a very strong, probably more than first half of this record. Obviously, Circles Around This Town. I think that song, I mean, it's not like, to me, it's not like a deep meaning lyrically song. It's just a fun, catchy lyric song. And I can't help it. It gets stuck in my head every time I listen to it. But from Circles Around This Town all the way through Nervous is like jam after jam after jam for me. So it's The Furthest Thing, I Can't Love You Anymore, Humble Quest. Background music and Nervous are just jam after jam for me.
this is about to go south because we're going to move into the stinkers section of the program. And I will start this off and give Aaron some time to stretch and work out his vocal cords and get ready to go on about his stinkers. But for me and Michelle, I'm not saying this to be funny, and I certainly wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. My two stinkers on the record are, in fact, background music and nervous. And
All right, I'm going to go.
My note for background music says this song is aptly titled because
The lyrics are so good.
I wouldn't know because I cannot pay attention to it. Like I did exactly what Aaron did. Oh, okay, use your words. Work it out. Wait, do you have to poop?
Too late.
Too late. I did what Aaron did. I tried this record in so many different environments because I kept zoning out. And then I finally zeroed in on what the problem was, because the last two times that I listened to it, when I found myself zoning out, I was able to zero in and I was like, where is this happening? And it's the song background music. And then the last
fucking jam.
The last listen through, I skipped that song in the middle of it because I was like, okay, you are ruining this for me. And then Nervous did the same thing for me. I was like zoning out.
It has like that up kick for the chorus and it gets like rocking.
No, I know the song.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I honest to God, in 150 plus episodes and coming up on, by the way, 3 years of doing this show, I think, honest to God, that's the very first time you've ever just been like, no, you're wrong.
You're just wrong. That's the
way that. That's
okay,
the way.
Okay.
But here's my thing,
opinion.
though, and this honestly goes the same route as your review of The Wall, is that I could tell that you made an honest effort, like you really tried, and I swear to you, like I kept being like, there is something, and when in defense, when I skipped those two tracks, I was able to listen to the whole rest of the record just fine. But those two tracks in the middle, man, kill me. I don't know. It could be, I'm big on track listings. It could be a track listing issue for me if they were somewhere else on the record, maybe. Aaron, if you're all limbered up and ready, we don't want you to hurt yourself or anything. But what are some stinkers on the record for you?
Well, honestly, I think I'm pretty much going to cement that Michelle and I are not going to be friends, because I agree with you about background music. I couldn't dial in on that one. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And this is going to, but pretty much for the same reason. I don't know why I just couldn't. I would just kind of, I'd hear that white noise and just and then I'd be like, oh wait, I missed that track again.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But then the other one, and this is not for me. It's not those two back to back. It's background music, but then also Good Friends. It's just so damn hokey. I don't know how else to put it. It's like, come on, for Christ's sakes. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but this is still me, and I'm gonna have an aneurysm if I don't at least get a little of it out.
No, for sure, I get it. No,
but
share
it's
your
like
opinion.
The grand overarching theme of this whole thing kind of struck me as like, okay, I get it. You love your old man. That's fantastic, and I'm happy you do. But when it gets pushed back into that Good Friends thing, and I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes. There are days where this reads like somebody who's trying to convince himself, because they've been locked in the house with somebody for the last year and a half, and they want to make sure they're staying on track. Like, no, we're still really good friends. It's not like the way you clip your toenails in the living room drives me bug shit. So, that one just didn't work for me.
I get it.
Just didn't sit right.
I hear you. As far as open discussion goes on the record, there is a lot.
Excuse me.
I'm so sorry, Michelle. I swear I didn't think you were going to have any stinkers, so I didn't even think about it. What are your stinkers, Michelle?
Well, since Aaron and I are already mortal enemies, Tall Guys, I can't stand it. It's just too hokey, the lyrics. I mean, I understand that they're like fun, but like it reminds me of what's that Kelly Clarkson song that you hate off of
Whole Lot of Woman, the worst song she'll ever
record?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of when I hear it. I feel like this is how Russ feels about that song.
Yeah, the song that otherwise screws up a perfect album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tall Guys for me.
So is that your only stinker, though?
Yes, that is my only stinker on this record.
The only reason why I ask is
it could be.
You said it was a front heavy record for you, and I'm not saying this part to be funny, but is it front heavy for you because of your attention span, like where you listen to the first half of things, or is it because you just don't like the second half of the record as much?
I just don't like the second half of the record as much. It doesn't. There's nothing on it. The last I can't remember the name of the song. The last song on the record that you said you liked.
What would this world
What
do?
would this world do?
Mm-hmm.
That song I really do like. I wouldn't say it's one of my necessarily jams on the record, but everything between Tall Guys and Good Friends is just kind of meh for me. Like, I don't hate it, but it's just there. So yeah, but Tall Guys is the only stinker for me.
Right on. As far as open discussion goes on the record, how we usually do this is we'll all just kind of mention some things about it. We'll allow Aaron more time to get some things off of his chest. For me, I like the overall production on this record. That's one of the reasons I looked up who produced it. I am surprised it wasn't a name that I knew, or like, I'm certain, obviously, if they're working with Maren Morris, they probably have done a good amount of albums, but I don't know anything else the gentleman had done. I like her voice sounds very close.
Yes.
Like she's right near you, which I like a lot. I don't know how to say this in a complimentary way, but this to me sounds like she's doing a Casey Musgraves impersonation. This record.
So I only know a little bit of Casey Musgraves, and everything I've heard I loved. And I can see that, but I think she's less twangy.
Yeah. The latest Casey Musgrave record, which I think is called Star-Crossed Lovers, I think is this. Like, I think if you have heard Casey Musgraves, you've probably heard Golden Hour and Before, which I totally agree is more of a twangy thing. But the latest Casey Musgraves record, in my opinion, these records could be interchanged. They're like really, really, really close to each other.
I'll have to check out the newest Casey Musgraves.
The last 2 points that I want to make, and really it's both regarding her voice. I like her voice a lot. I know Aaron mentioned that earlier. Like, she's got a good voice. I like her voice. I don't love her voice. And the reason why I don't think I don't love her voice, and I mean this in a complimentary way because I love the two gentlemen that I'm about to mention, but I kept getting shades of Brandon Flowers and Rob Thomas when I was listening to this, where, hold on, I understand the confused look, Michelle. Hold on a second. Neither Brandon Flowers nor Rob Thomas waver from that little comfort zone that they're in. Neither of them go real low. Neither of them go real high. And both of them are excellent songwriters, Brandon Flowers and Rob Thomas, and they write very deep, moving lyrics, and then they sing them as if they don't matter at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they write this stuff and then they don't really like put any chutzpah into it, if you will.
Like a Rihanna?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. As you know, Rihanna is one of my least favorite people to ever stand in front of a microphone ever. And so
she sings like she's falling asleep.
She sings. Yes, she absolutely sings like she's either falling asleep herself or desperately trying to put me to sleep. So Aaron, I saw you shaking your head. Yeah. During some of that, is that a part of, I mean, besides the genre not being up your alley, is that part of the issue too for you?
Yeah. It's kind of like you got that dialed in range. Like I said, it's a technically proficient performance without a lot of passion behind it is kind of how I've saw it.
You just said that so much better than I said than I said it. Except I worked the word in chutzpah, which I feel is
chutzpah, moxie.
Moxie's another good one.
Panache, you know.
Yeah, the gal's got no moxie. See, that's I just don't feel any.
Russ, we're starting to sound like olds again.
Yeah, I know. Everybody else listening to this is going to be like, who talks like that? Be like, it happened.
All the millennials just turned off our podcast.
Yeah. Well, I would assume they turned it off when you didn't know this was country. They're probably like, who is this old picking this album? But Aaron said it better than I could. I like what I'm hearing. I don't love what I'm hearing. And I think it's because there's not near as much passion as I would like.
I would agree. I don't think that this is anything prolific or revolutionary to me. I just think that other than the one track, it's a very well put together album. And it's something that I can listen to front to back. And I do like the lyrics of the song, even if they're like cheesy or whatever. Like, I just think that there's a lot of good in this record. And it's something that I don't think that I would normally have picked out. This was 5 or 10 years ago. It would not be my jam, but I'm evolving. Honest
to God, I was actually thinking about that while listening to it. I thought, man, this is something new for Michelle to be into, in my opinion, which I think opens a lot of doors for you, though. Like, there's a lot more music out there that's more.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, yeah. I'll dial it way back.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's that. You know what? That's my bad. I'm going to take a moment and think about what I did just now. Aaron, do you have any other thoughts?
If you would just dial it back.
Yeah, I'm going to dial it back. Any other thoughts on the overall record as a whole?
No, I mean, like I said, overall, it's not a bad album, and you're right. It's really not my particular oeuvre, if you will. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's well done. It's well executed. The production on it's nice.
Yeah.
There goes your voice again.
Well, it's a tick. That's one of my tells. That's why I don't talk when I play cards.
You probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Most people probably think I shouldn't just talk in general, but I digress. Yeah, overall, it's not a bad album. I'm sure this is another one I could throw on, and the wife and I would both be able to listen to it, and she'd be happy, and I wouldn't, want to shoot myself or anything. So
that's
win-win.
Yeah, they're gonna put that on the anniversary hype sticker. I wouldn't shoot myself.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't shoot myself. Some middle-aged balding fat guy from Wisconsin said he wouldn't shoot himself listening to this.
Please buy.
There's a hard sell.
That's a good compliment.
Now with bonus tracks. Michelle, do you have anything to add to the open discussion of it? Is there anything else that we hadn't covered yet?
No, I think we covered it all.
Right on.
Also, this is the perfect album length. I just want to say.
Oh, for you. Definitely. There are other people who like to hear records that are longer than this, but I don't have any problem with the length of it. Like, I'm not like, oh, there should have been more to this. Like, I think that this is the correct amount.
I think if there was more, it would have been too much.
You for sure wouldn't have listened to it if there was more to it.
No, if she comes out with an extended cut, no thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. Michelle, we'll stay on you for a minute. Would you buy this record? And I don't know because I don't live there anymore. Have you bought this record? Would you buy this record?
I'm embarrassed to say I have not.
You have not?
But I have
would you?
I absolutely would. And I have a Dearborn Records.
I was going to ask you if you still had that
I was going to bring that up, too.
Yeah.
I do have a gift card that's burning a hole in my pocket. So I should go there and buy it.
My favorite thing about you still having that gift card is that for the longest time, your excuse was, well, it's not on my way home. And then they literally opened a location of Dearborn Music that's between your house and your work. And you still have that gift card.
I was waiting for the right time. I was waiting for the right record, and it's this one.
I'll tell you what we should do is we should do a giveaway on social media to give away your gift card. Somebody will drive into Michigan and use that gift card before you.
I'm sure they will. I'm going to use it. It's a good gift. Don't worry.
Aaron, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask you anyways. Would you run out and buy this record?
Yeah, I'm going to say I probably would not. I mean, I said, I wouldn't turn it off if it came on while I was listening to whatever on shuffle or anything, but am I going to go out and drop down some of my hard-earned nickels to no.
Right on. For me, this is one where I put, like, if I were still collecting vinyl, I absolutely would have bought this on vinyl, and most likely, not to labor the point, but most likely listen to the first side way more than the second side, more often than not. Would you recommend the record to other people? I would, and the reason why I would recommend this album to people is I would recommend this specifically to people who say that there's no good country anymore or have decided that country music needs to be a certain thing. Like this, Casey Musgraves, The Lone Bellow. I think there's a lot of artists out there that do the genre in a different way than people have thought of before. That doesn't have to be, and they're kind of my country creed, but the band Florida Georgia Line, it doesn't have to go that far outside of traditional country to still be different than what you're used to and still be capable and listenable country music. So I'll go back through you guys in reverse here. Aaron, even though this is not your cup of tea, I know you said earlier that your wife likes, would like this type of record. Would you recommend this to anybody?
Yeah, and actually I already did recommend it to her. So
right on.
And to people who like that kind of thing, I would definitely say it's worth the listen.
Right on. Michelle, you've recommended it to me, Aaron, and everybody listening to this podcast. So you've already done your part, but would you do that? And also, honestly, if somebody said to you, hey, do you know some new good country music? This wouldn't cross your mind? Honest
to God, it wouldn't. I feel like there's some twang in it, but I wouldn't necessarily. So I think that this is breaking a lot of eggs. I think that I have a skewed version of what country is. And so when people, you don't have to enthusiastically.
The audience can't see me right now, but I'm enthusiastically shaking my head yes, and that's what stopped Michelle dead in her tracks.
So if somebody asked me for good country music, I would say I don't listen to country outside of probably Darius Rucker. I would consider this like pop folk, maybe? Does that sound close?
Yeah, but I would argue that that's what a lot of good country is becoming.
So that's what I'm saying. So like when someone asks me about country, I don't know that they're necessarily asking about this kind of music. either way, I would recommend this record to anybody, all walks of life.
Non-discriminatory with your recommendation of the record.
No, I would. I mean, even though Aaron didn't love it, he didn't hate it.
Which is a huge win.
Yes. I think it's also good. It's a good music just to put on for people you don't know. I feel like it's poppy. It's got a little country. I feel like it's good for a group of people.
Right on. I agree. Aaron, we will go to you first for your number of the rating that you're going to give the record between 1 and 10, 10 being the best. Just the number and why you rated it that way.
Well, I can't in good conscience rate it better than Pet Sounds. So
Well,
I'm probably going to put it in right at a 5. And
right on. Who on earth would rate a record better than Pet Sounds?
Terrible. I don't hate it. It's not something that's going to make me yell at you if you turn it on. So it's just kind of, it's there for me. It's just meh. It's
being the same as Pet Sounds is a good compliment. So, I mean,
ignoring that comment, I'll move on. I came in just above you, Aaron, and for almost the exact same reason. I had this record at a 6, and I simply put, I like it. I just don't love it. Like I feel like a little bit more inflection in her voice here and there, and it would have been a game changer for me. And she's a newer artist
she's
too.
Better live.
Well, and this is her 3rd LP too. You know what I mean? Like she's got time. It doesn't mean she's going to come out of the gate swinging. So there could be some artist development there. Maybe she'll listen to this and think about what she did. You never know. Michelle,
I hope so.
Michelle, bring us home. What is your rating 1 to 10? I'm certain this is going to come in higher than Pet Sounds.
So I'm just a little bit higher than you, Russ. I'm a solid 7. I don't love it enough for it to be. It's not one of my favorite records, but it is a great record. The Stinker knocks it down one. I am very excited to see where her career goes from here. But I think it's just a very good record just to listen to front to back. I don't really have a lot of complaints other than the one song. So
yeah. And
solid 7.
What's funny that you mentioned that too, about like, it's not your favorite record ever. It's not something you absolutely love, but it was made for a good discussion so far. And I, for some reason, got myself on this streak of picking albums for my reviews that are albums that I'm just super passionate about, that I absolutely love. And I do think it's good for us to do records like this every so often, that like, we can come in, absolutely no pun intended, but like come in more on the middle on things, other than being like, no, this is the best thing ever and you have to agree, and that's it.
Yeah. When you think about it, I feel like the majority of what we listen to is not the best thing we've ever heard,
Right.
So like there's only a few records or a few artists that we, are diehard passionate about. But there's still, excuse my French, a butt ton of other music that we listen to that I think deserves a good shake.
A butt ton of music that's less boogery that we all.
I feel like I did good with the boogers.
Oh, you absolutely, you did wonderful with the boogers, Michelle.
Thank
you. Yeah. That has been our discussion of Michelle's album pick, Maren Morris, Humble Quest. We always have the playlist that Michelle puts together for us on Spotify. So if you've listened to this episode and you want to hear some of this record, or Aaron's Jammy Jams, my Jammy Jams, Michelle's Jammy Jams, they will all be available on our Spotify playlist. Aaron, thank you so much for sitting in with us again, brother.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. And anytime you need a body, I'm usually pretty easy to schedule. So.
Right on. And if you want to hear Aaron speak in a much lower tone of voice, because he's not lying through any portion of a program, I can't recommend enough that you go and subscribe to I Had to Say It, Aaron's podcast, weekly podcast, where he talks about a little bit of everything that's going on in the world on a weekly basis. And he is more than happy to welcome new subscribers. So make sure that you go over to your podcast platform, look for I Had to Say It, and drop him a subscription. Next week on this show, we are going to welcome another podcast host who we've been lying to for years, saying, yeah, we're going to have you on real soon. And we're finally following through for their first guest appearance. And it's going to be fun. We're going to talk through some of our favorite rap albums of all time, which is going to be a really, really, really good and entertaining discussion. So we will get to that next week. But as we always say, when we're wrapping things up here, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.